what exactly is a plant-based diet? I have never learned how to juggle, and I really don't want to injure this onion, so no. What is going on, friends? My name is Torin, and welcome to Wellbeing Café. Today we're going to be talking all about a plant-based diet. So recently there's been just a ton of hype around this concept, this plant-based diet. There's been celebrity talks, there's been news coverage, all sorts of short form videos, but the real question is, what is a plant-based diet? Well, first, it's really a whole food plant-based diet, emphasizing whole and minimally processed grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes, and greens. From that, it's as easy as it sounds. You just eat more whole plants. And it's one of, if not the healthiest diets in modern scientific literature. If you don't believe me, just ask ChatGPT. But wait, why make the whole food distinction? Something that's made out of plants but is uber processed, think a refined oil like coconut oil, or a main brand chocolate or cookie. It might be plant-based, it might even be vegan, but it's certainly not a whole food and it's certainly not healthy for you. In other words, somebody could be plant-based or vegan and still have a very unhealthy or low nutrition diet. It's a crucial difference, and one of the main reasons why T. Colin Campbell, the doctor who coined the phrase whole food plant-based diet, wanted to make the distinction. So wait, you're telling me it's not vegan? I mean, it can be a subsect of vegan, but it's not strictly vegan. And avoiding animal products is not the primary point, though animal and environmental ethics are also very important. A whole food plant-based diet centers around whole plant foods. In other words, we aim to avoid processed foods and animal products. But it's not an all or nothing absolute, meaning you can still occasionally eat processed foods and meat and still be considered plant-based. Whereas you can't occasionally eat a little bit of meat and be considered vegan. There's another way we can frame this too. Veganism tends to emphasize what you take away from the diet, what you don't consume. Whereas a whole food plant-based diet emphasizes what you add in. And this isn't to say they can't be the same diet for somebody, like Julia and I, with the exception of some occasional honey. But this is the other key reason that Dr. Campbell chose this specific name, and why our whole Wellbeing Café channel emphasizes and focuses on what to add to your diet, never what to take away. And what do we add in? That's right, it's the whole plant. Yeah, that was weird. I don't think I'm ever gonna do that again. But wait just a second, I just said that the reason for it being whole food was to emphasize not adding processed foods. That has nothing to do with what you add in. Why is the whole plant better? The simple answer is the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Plant foods are absolutely packed with nutrients. From the common ones you hear about every day, like proteins and vitamin A's and omega-3s, to phytonutrients or plant-based nutrients, compounds that are complex in their nature that we are still doing research on to this day. Imagine it this way. I like to think of a whole plant food as a beautiful package made by nature just the way it was supposed to be. All of the components work together in a natural harmony to create wonderful flavors and a balance of nutrients with many complex relationships and diverse benefits. By consuming a diverse plate of all of these packages, we get all sorts of nutrients for our bodies and can naturally create more nutritional balance with what we consume. But every layer of major processing strips away and takes away from this package, breaking away some of those relationships and potentially taking away additional nutrients, lessening the beneficial effects of whatever nutrients remain, and in doing so, limiting our nutritional diversity. And before you ask, yes, some processing is necessary, such as in beans or in whole grains. Sometimes we need to cook things for them to be safe, for them to be digestible, and not all processing is bad, but it's good to minimize it where we can. And beyond that, we want our food to taste amazing too, so some processing can help with that. If you want an additional perspective on all of this, then Forks Over Knives has a great take and some great articles, which I'll link in the description down below. So in a whole food plant-based diet, we want to add more whole foods into what we consume and aim to minimize and most importantly, control the processing we do to these whole foods. Now this whole concept, this idea of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, is one out of 8 principles from Dr. Campbell. If you want to learn more about those, I'll link a video up above, and I'll also put some of his articles from his website down in the description below. But wait, before we carry on and wrap up, one more big question probably remains. What about protein? Where do you get your protein? This is by far the most common question I have been asked time and time again ever since I started cooking plant-based meals. The short answer, many plants have amino acids as well as full proteins. So if you're knowledgeable about what you eat and how you balance your diet, it's not a problem at all. And that's part of the goal we have with all the recipes that we create at Wellbeing Café to help create this nutritional balance over time. I'm not going to get into the details on proteins. There's a lot of complexity within that, but if you want to learn more about how protein works and especially about plant-based proteins, check out the video that I'll link up above from a credible source, as well as the articles in the description below. Those ones will in particular highlight plant-based proteins. So to wrap up our conversation, a plant-based diet is really a whole food plant-based diet. And really, it's a whole lifestyle in how you choose what you eat, centered around adding more whole foods into your meals, with minimal processing that's limited and controlled by you. It's easy, it's affordable, it's delicious, and it's not all or nothing. I like to think of it as a journey. Start slowly, maybe just one vegetable at a time, and then feel the difference for yourself. If you don't know where to start, then check out our video linked up above on how to start your plant-based journey. Thank you so much for joining, friends. Thank you for being here, for being part of the Wellbeing Café community. If you enjoyed today's content and are not yet subscribed to the channel, we would love for you to officially join our community. And if you have any thoughts on this video, any questions, as well as any requests for recipes, then let me know in the comments down below. Thanks again for joining, take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the kitchen soon. Love your plants and they love you back. Well, I think that's a wrap. We're gonna call that good.